Hey Manish, thank you so much for joining me here today, and I'm looking forward to the questions that you have for me. Thanks for making it.
My pleasure, Anant. Thanks for inviting me for this session. Over the last few years, there's been a lot of activity in this ecosystem. I wanted to get your thoughts on, what do you think about ISVs and startups in the Indian business context?
Indian business, I would say, runs on entrepreneurship. And in today's digital world, in the fourth industrial revolution, the startups and the ISV community are the representation of that entrepreneurship. So I'm deeply excited of what's happening in India with this entrepreneurship. We are deeply committed to this ecosystem. Our accelerator in the country works with a number of startups working through different stages of their growth and enabling them to scale up. Our efforts with the broader ISV community is focused on creating the big leaders of tomorrow.
And I think ISVs have been working very closely with Microsoft for many years. But as you know, over the last few years, cloud, digital, a lot is happening in the technology space. So what's your view on innovation coming from these ISVs from India?
I see the fourth industrial revolution and the digital transformation that we talk of in three simple stages. First is to create some value in the digital use cases that companies can use and then see how they can benefit from it. Then they scale it to the entire ecosystem that they operate in. And then finally, a lot of the cool technologies that today get talked about, be it artificial intelligence, bots, machine learning, and so on. So those are three stages that I would say that ISVs can also think about as we think of what we can do. Within the stage one, which is creating value and the use cases, there are four big pillars as we see it of digital transformation. First is engaging differently with customers. Second is to empower the employees to do a lot more. Third is to optimize and transform operations to do them a lot more efficiently. And finally is to rethink and transform offerings which may be products today but services in future. So all these four levers, you can start depending on the vertical that you're in, depending on the company that you're in, depending on the stage of the industry or the company, you can decide which one of these four to start the digital transformation journey and then extend it beyond. So ISVs are core to providing this first set of use cases to companies. Then as you move forward into scaling, I see three levels of scaling that are required. Just the hyperscale of data of the cloud that is required, and again Microsoft supports the ISVs in that hyperscale. The second is hypersecurity. In today's world, we have to think through different levels of security as we live in the digital world. And finally is hyper flexibility. Today, I don't think any CEO or CIO or CDO can take that call to say how much on-premise versus how much cloud all of my offerings will be, my ecosystems will be, or which platforms am I working on today and which I will work in future, and how the data will flow between these different choices that I make, whether it's open source or proprietary. How do I really make those choices today? So the flexibility to scale over a period of time is very, very important. And there again, I think Microsoft provides the integrated fabric of hyperscale, hypersecurity, hyperflexibility, while ISVs build solutions on top of that. And then comes the third stage, as I spoke of, which is around the whole innovation with completely breakthrough technologies. There again, as you know, Microsoft is doing a lot of work in augmented reality with the Cortana Intelligence Suite around artificial intelligence, around machine learning in the IoT space, and also working through quantum computing and many other new forms of breakthrough innovation. Now that is something that Microsoft will continue to provide as tools to ISVs, but the real innovation, going back to the four pillars of digital transformation, has to be done by the ISVs in creating new solutions for customers. So I would say that ISVs and Microsoft are deeply integrated. It is a win-win solution that we need to find as we go together.
So where do you think ISVs fit in your growth plan for the business, both from the Indian context perspective as well as global?
Microsoft will continue to provide support as a partner, whether it is through capabilities, through learning, through certifications and so on, as ISVs mature, and also provide the go-to-market support that we have. But the ISVs will need to learn and do more as we scale up. We have an ISV community globally, and we are ensuring through our marketplace that ISVs can start in one geography, but then have the ability through this network to provide similar solutions or new solutions in different parts of the world. and truly become global businesses through the Microsoft network. As I said earlier, it's innovation of new solutions. And I truly believe in the entrepreneurship of the ISVs to find right and fast answers for those problems that our customers are facing.
There's a lot happening in the startup space. Would you personally invest in any startup?
Oh, I would love to. So I would say short answer is yes. I haven't done that yet. I would say I would love to. I have deep respect for entrepreneurship. And if I do invest, my motive is to learn through the eyes of an entrepreneur, because what an entrepreneur goes through is something that you can't replicate in any other business environment. Today, I'm focused all my time in making the partners and ISVs successful. I do hope I can find that time to do this extra bit of learning as I make any personal investments.
I really hope you do. The community will look forward to it.
Manish, once again, thank you so much for making it here and having this conversation with me. It's been learning for me. Great questions, and I hope as Microsoft works to partner with the ISVs, much more of this comes true. Thanks a lot.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.